Good afternoon. The court is going to take up the next case, cause number C200139CPS. This is in the interest of Giovanni Escobedo, a child. The case is set for a permanency hearing and pretrial. It is also set for a hearing on a motion to withdraw as attorney ad litem filed by Andrew Graves, seeking in order from the court granting his motion to withdraw as attorney ad litem for the respondent mother, Kara Dowd. The hearings today are being heard pursuant to emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court via Zoom video conference. Participating in the hearing today on behalf of the department is caseworker Kimberly Melodic, Supervisor Shauna Smith, and Regional Attorney Jason Jett. The mother of the child is Kara Dowd, and she is participating in the hearing today. Andrew Graves is her attorney ad litem. He is participating in the hearing today. The father of the child is Stephen Escobedo, and he is participating in the hearing today with his attorney, Galen Muller. Ty Grote is the attorney ad litem for the child, and he is participating in the hearing today, and he has also filed a statement with the court. The CASA guardian ad litem representatives for the child are Maureen Zapisi and Vicky Keck, and I believe Ms. Zapisi is participating in the hearing today, and they have filed a report with the court. Rebecca Samples, I believe, is the foster parent caregiver for the child, and Ms. Samples is participating in the hearing today, and the child's excused from participating in the hearing. As I noted, there's two matters set: a motion to withdraw filed by Mr. Graves and a permanency hearing and pretrial. I believe the court should take up the motion to withdraw first before deciding how to proceed with the permanency hearing and pretrial. So I'm going to take up that motion at this time. Mr. Graves, are you ready to proceed with that motion?
Ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Muller, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Jett?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Grote?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Graves, since that's your motion, I'll let you go first and have you address that motion and the reasons for it. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, as you know, I was appointed to represent Ms. Dowd at the beginning of this case. During the course of this case, she has indicated to myself and to my staff that she does not wish for me to stay on or to maintain my representation to her. Of course, there has apparently that creates a conflict of personalities that I am not going to be able to communicate with my client, and it is her desire that she has new counsel. She did come into our office. We drafted a motion to withdraw, and she signed that motion to withdraw, showing her consent. And I believe that was filed June 10th is when it was filed with the court, and we are asking to withdraw, or I am.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Dowd, as Mr. Graves indicated, he has filed a motion to withdraw, seeking to withdraw as your attorney ad litem. If the court grants that motion, he would be removed as your attorney ad litem. At that point in time, you would either need to retain new counsel to represent you, or the court would consider a request for new counsel to be appointed for you based on indigence, if that is your preference. I will caution you, however, that the case is currently set for a trial September 1st, 2021 at 9 a.m. with a dismissal date of September 27, 2021. The law provides a limited time period for these cases to be resolved. So if a new attorney is either retained by you or appointed for you, they're going to have a very limited amount of time in order to prepare for trial. So you need to be aware of that as you consider your position in this case. I will also advise you that if you, as I understand it, are discharging Mr. Graves as your attorney ad litem and making that decision, that's your choice to do so. But the court is not in the habit of and will not continue to appoint attorneys for you to represent you if you cannot find one that you until you find one that you're satisfied with. The court, if the court appoints you another attorney, you'll be expected to cooperate with that attorney. If I get a second motion to withdraw based on the same issues as in this one, you can anticipate that the court will consider whether or not at that time, whether the court should consider good cause not to appoint any further attorneys in the case. Now, before I get a response from you, I need you to raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give today before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and will you state your name for the record, please, ma'am?
My name is Kara Rochelle Dow.
Okay, and you are the mother of the child Giovanni Escobedo, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and as I indicated before, and Mr. Graves has also indicated, he has filed a motion to withdraw as your counsel. And my understanding from the motion is you have agreed to that withdrawal at this point. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And your desire is to have him discharged as your attorney ad litem. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to get into any specific attorney-client communications that you had with Mr. Graves about the case itself, but in order for me to discharge a court-appointed attorney, I need to know why you are requesting he be discharged, because my
Do I need to keep
understanding...
my hand up still, sir?
I'm sorry?
Do I keep my hand up still?
No, ma'am, you can put it in.
Okay. We just, we have a conflict of personalities and a lack of communication, and I just feel like that I wasn't counseled very well.
And you understand, ma'am, that if I discharge him, then you're either going to have to retain a lawyer, or you're going to have to establish that you still qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. And if the court appoints you a second attorney, you'll be expected to cooperate with that attorney, and that there's only a very limited amount of time left in this the time period allowed by law for resolution in this case. So you understand those things, right?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Graves, I will grant the motion to withdraw at this point, and you are discharged as her attorney ad litem. You are free to leave the courtroom at this point. I would ask you if she retains counsel, or if other counsel is appointed for her, that you try to cooperate with them to the extent you can under the rules of ethics as to information that might assist them in her representation.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be happy to do that.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Dowd, regarding how to proceed from here, are you intending to retain counsel to represent you, or are you requesting court-appointed counsel?
I'm requesting another court-appointed place, sir. I'm indigent still.
All right. Are you currently employed?
No, not at the moment. I'm not self-employment, but I'm not very busy right now, so I'm looking for another job on top of that.
Okay. When's the last time you were employed full-time?
Full-time, back when COVID first started and I had to take my son out of school.
Okay. Do you have any assets or other income that you could use to retain a lawyer?
No, sir, I don't.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. I'm going to appoint Emily Martinez, who's a local attorney here in town, to represent you in this case. Ms. Martinez will be notified of that appointment and you'll need to get with her as quickly as you can once she's notified that to discuss your case and your position in it, so you and she can be prepared for any trial that may occur in this case. In light of that, I don't think it's appropriate to proceed forward with the permanency hearing today, since she just got counsel and she needs to confer with them before we proceed. So I'm going to vacate the permanency hearing today. I'm going to reset a permanency hearing on August 24th at 1:30. For other scheduling reasons, I need to vacate the trial that's set on September 1st, and I'm going to reset that subject to the attorney's availability on September 10th at 10 a.m. I'd ask Mr. Mueller and Mr. Grote and Mr. Jett, if y'all can check your calendars briefly just to make sure you don't have an issue with that setting.
Your Honor,
Okay.
may you send me in separate to chambers with Mr. Escobedo for a few minutes? We had some issues similar come up earlier this morning. I need to discuss that with him.
I'm sorry, you needed to be in chambers with who?
Stephen Escobedo.
Oh, okay, you want to meet with him? Okay. All right. All right. How much time do you think you need, Mr. Mueller?
4 minutes.
Okay. Well, I'll put you in there until about 3 o'clock. Mr. Escobedo, I'm going to send you and Mr. Mueller an invitation to join that breakout room. The rest of you will be stand by. We'll resume here in just a couple minutes. Thank you.
Judge, I am available on the 10th, by the way.
All right. Thank you. All right. Y'all should be getting an invitation to join that breakout room. Y'all can go in there, please. All right. Apologize for the delay, but if the rest of y'all will just stand by for a couple of minutes, we'll resume the hearing here in just a couple of minutes.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Absolutely, sir. Yes, you can.
Thank you. Good luck, Ms. Dowd.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I need to make a phone call to determine my availability on the 10th. Don't think you can hear me.
Hello? Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm going to bring them back in. All right, we are back on the record, and cause number C200139CPS in the interest of Giovanni Escobedo. All parties and counsel previously present remain present, with the exception of Mr. Graves, who's no longer in the courtroom, and it appears that Mrs. Mrs. Dowd appears to have dropped off our screen at this point. Mr. Mueller, was there some other matter we need to address for you?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be filing a very similar motion of withdrawal, request for withdrawal. I believe it should be heard sooner than August the 24th to provide as much time as possible, if the court grants that motion, for any other attorney to prepare.
And remind me, Mr. Mueller, are you retained or appointed?
Appointed, Your Honor.
Appointed in that case. A second. All right.
It was October 20th.
Well, I guess since this really relates to you and your client rather than Mrs. Dowd, I was a little bit hesitant. If you're making a motion to withdraw, I guess I can, if there's no objection, I can take that up now, and we can address whether I should grant it or not if you're prepared to proceed.
That would be, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection from the other attorney?
No objection, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. We're going to change horses. Let's change horses.
Okay, just a second. I think Ms. Dowd is about to join us again. All right, Mr. Mueller, if you want to take up that your oral motion to withdraw, I'll consider it.
Okay, thank you. I haven't had a discussion with Mr. Escobedo this morning. And again, confirming that same discussion when we broke out in chambers a few minutes ago. there exists a conflict as to personalities between Mr. Escobedo and myself that renders it advisable that I should withdraw based upon Mr. Escobedo's request. Therefore, I would request the court to permit me to withdraw. And if Mr. Escobedo has the funds to permit him to hire one, if he does not, ask the court to appoint in my place.
Thank you. Mr. Escobedo, can you raise your right hand, please? And could you unmute your device, please? You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give today before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Escobedo, Mr. Mueller has indicated that he is, at your request, making a motion to withdraw as your court-appointed attorney ad litem in the case. And my understanding is you are in agreement with the court discharging Mr. Mueller as your attorney ad litem?
Correct.
Is that correct? All right. Can you, without again going any conversations you had with Mr. Mueller about the case itself, can you advise the court why you were wanting different counsel?
Lack of communication, lack of interest. This morning, he had voiced that he was going off the case and made the statement to as if you have money, you can hire yourself an attorney. And when that statement was made, I said, well, I believe you should step down then. And then he said, then that's what I'll do. So, I mean, it's just lack of interest and just lack of communication.
And I'll tell you the same thing I told Ms. Dowd. You understand that we are set for a trial here in a little over a month in this case, and there's a very limited amount of time that the law allows for these cases to be resolved, and I have very limited leeway to move that trial back any further than it already is. So if you get new counsel, whether it's a attorney you retain or it's court-appointed counsel, that you'll have to be prepared to proceed with the trial when it's set with that counsel. You understand that?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you, if Mr. Mueller is discharged, is it your intention to try to retain a lawyer, or are you requesting the court appoint a lawyer for you?
The court appointed. And may I say something, Your Honor?
Well, it depends on what it is, but
It's pertaining to this.
okay.
This was at his request. Yes. The thing is, I'm willing to.
Okay. Wait a minute. No, that's not what I understood. This was at your request.
After the statement that was made by him over a phone call this morning, it was his request. And yes, if he will not communicate with me to help me understand the things that are needed to be done, that have been done, I'm willing to work with him if he's willing to communicate more with me to understand this. He initiated the request. I agreed.
Ms. Mueller, anything you want to add to that?
Your Honor, he indicated, why don't you withdraw when we had discussion? I said, if you want to hire a lawyer, I certainly won't stand in your way. But the request as to withdraw was initiated by Mr. Escobedo. I again requested when in chamber, said, do you wish for me to withdraw? And he said, yes. As to lack of communication, Your Honor, the last time Mr. Escobedo's been in my office is April the 29th to see me. Apparently, he came in Friday afternoon, wanted to discuss the case. I was not here Friday afternoon. So he considers that my lack of communication being available to him when he chooses to come by.
Mr. Escobedo, if the court discharges Mr. Mueller, whether or not you get a court-appointed lawyer will depend on your current ability to pay for one. So I'm going to need to hear some evidence from you as to your ability to pay. If you have sufficient assets or income to hire a lawyer on your own, you're going to be forced to hire one on your own. Understand that?
Okay, and the assets would be,
Any assets you got that you could use for money, you can pledge them to the attorney. You can sell them. You can do other things with them. If you have significant enough assets that you can go hire a lawyer, the county's not going to pay for one for you.
okay, no,
So,
I don't.
we're going to find out about that just here in a second. We're not there yet. I'm just telling you that's the test. Because you don't just get a lawyer because you ask for one. You have to qualify for it. You have to show you're not able to hire one on your own. Because otherwise you're asking the citizens of Tongan County to pay for your lawyer. So we need to determine whether you still qualify. Now, your name is Stephen Escobedo, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're the father of the child, Giovanni Escobedo.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other minor children under the age of 18?
Yes, I do. But they are in, uh, they were adopted. Well, our first daughter was Edith, and our second, Cash, is with foster parents, which I have joint custody too.
Are you under any obligation to pay child support for either of those children?
No, sir.
Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Okay, where are you employed at?
SNS Automotive.
I'm sorry?
Self-employed as a mechanic.
Okay. And on a monthly basis, what is your income?
I mean, it's been probably anywhere from about $1,500 a month, if that.
Other than that income from self-employment, do you have any other source of income?
No, sir.
Do you receive any type of governmental assistance?
No, sir.
Now, regarding your assets, do you have any bank accounts, savings accounts, CDs, stocks, bonds, real estate, or other assets of any significant value that can be used to hire a lawyer?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to find you continuing to qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, and I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you in this case. I'm going to appoint Marciela Mendoza to represent you in the case. She'll be notified of that appointment. You'll need to be getting with her to discuss your case as we go forward in the case. As I explained to Ms. Dowd, the court will not continue to appoint lawyers for you in the case. So you're retaining your lawyer, expected to cooperate with them in the case. I'm not saying you did or didn't in this case, but if I get a second motion to withdraw from your counsel on the basis they're having difficulty communicating with you, the court will consider at that time whether there's good cause not to grant you a request for any other counsel to be appointed for you if that were requests were made at that time. As I noted earlier, the case has been set for a permanency hearing on August 24, 2021 at 1:30, and the trial is now set for September 10th, 2021 at 10 a.m. So you'll need to be prepared to proceed with your counsel at those times for those hearings. All right. That